If there is a crystal ball about what the outcome would be under a state transfer scenario, you need to go to Oregon. Elliot State Forest is this remarkable forest in Oregon, 90-some thousand acres of state land, some of the highest recreation use of all of their state forests, maybe some of the highest recreation use of any state forest in the country. And through lawsuits, through litigation, their timber program has been producing less income, where it's now losing money. The forest has been losing money for years. And like all the other western states, the State Land Board in Oregon says, if an asset is not generating income and it's losing money, the State Land Board has to sell it. So right now, the Elliot State Forest, 90-some thousand acres of state land, is getting ready to be sold. That's exactly what the state transfer crowd wants. These states, if they were to acquire these tens of millions of acres, they cannot afford it. Everybody knows it. The economists in Utah have proven it. All of us know it who live here. We see how much the federal government contributes to the ownership of these lands and the costs related to these lands. And just like Elliot State Forest in Oregon, federal lands transferred to these state land boards will become unprofitable. And just like Elliot State Forest, they're going to end up on the auction block, and your public lands, our public lands, are going to end up being sold to the highest bidder. Going to end up being the currency by which politicians will repay their political favors. As bad as it will be to the citizens of Oregon when Elliot State Forest sells, it serves as the example of what the future looks like under the scenario of state transfer. And if you think this is all about better land management, if you think this is about local control, you're mistaken. This is about transferring federal lands that you and I all own, that we have access to, that we can recreate on, and transferring those lands to private parties and using the states as the conduit by which to do it. You have to look at the evidence, and the evidence shows right there in black and white on your screen that in 2016, Oregon is going to dispose in one sale of one of the largest pieces of state land that's ever been sold in one swoop. Elliot State Forest should be your example that makes it crystal clear to you, as it has to me, as it has to many, what state transfer really looks like, what the end result will be with state transfer.